decides to set a record
right now, and apparently the biggest heist in American history happened in Los Angeles back in 1997. It's called the Dunbar Armed Robbery. $18.9 million stolen. Adjusted for inflation, that's around $35 million today. Not bad. But Paul George topped that without a mask, a weapon, or even leaving his house.
Excuse me, bitch, I was running on my back. Money on my shoulder, put designer on my ass. This shit too nice, but it's fucking up my head. So I be getting high, but I ain't popping fuckers in.
Time of year. Now, I know y'all here for the body cams. Y'all here for Uncle Lou, Sam I Am, Lou the man with the plan. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Now, this one right here is from Hoop Reports. How Paul George legally stole $200 million from the NBA. Now, after this video right here, I definitely want some suggestions down below to a specific video, or I might hit a specific game. I don't know. I'm feeling it's getting close to 10, so I feel like hitting a game. Maybe like Only Up or something like that, or maybe like a co-op. Maybe somebody could play with me. But how Paul George legally stole $200 million from the NBA. If y'all have not been paying attention to nothing, right? This man, Paul George, has been podcast P, right? So he's been going around. He's been acting a fool. He's had more 30-minute podcasts than 30-point games, pretty much. That's all I'm saying, right? Paul George is one of my favorite players to put on a basketball sneaker in the modern era, but he's been letting me down of late. So without further ado, DC Nephew, if you tapped in, it's your uncle, Lou.
24th, 2013. I'm at home watching Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and right in front of my eyes, I'm witnessing the birth of the NBA's newest superstar.
Here comes George, got the step and stuffs one of them.
And I'm a Heat fan too, so that's bothering the hell out of me right now.
Birdman in the making here with Paul George.
Paul George is just 23 years old, but he's already breaking the internet. YouTubers are dropping videos titled, "A Star is Born," while news headlines are painting him as the league's next big thing. PG has the swagger, the smooth game, and the spotlight. Everyone wants a piece of him.
Mr. Paul George, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm excellent. I wanted to get you on TMZ.
He chilling.
One thing's clear. Paul George isn't just a star. He's him.
Stop flopping.
Now, 12 years later, something's different. And everyone knows it.
Paul George dropped 2 points in 37 minutes in a game without Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid.
He's not playoff P anymore. He's not pandemic P. He's podcast P now.
Back to Paul George. This is a terrible investment. One of the worst investments I've seen in recent history.
Stop it.
It's crazy.
What happened to Paul George? How does a superstar turn into a joke? And how is he walking away with $200 million while the league watches? This is the story of how Paul George legally robbed the NBA and smiled doing it.
I'm kind of glad that I'm watching this basketball video. Before I go into this, guys, I'm going to go into a quick little mini rant. My list of the worst franchises in the NBA, the Philadelphia 76ers is definitely on that list. The Brooklyn Nets, the Sacramento Kings, and guys, the newest franchise to enter that list, my team, not the Miami Heat, right? The Miami Heat, we've had a terrible season, right? Subpar year. Jimmy got traded. Players have been hurt. We've been losing games. And yet we're still not the Dallas Mavericks. I would hate to be a Mavericks fan. If they ever did that to my team, I'd be disgusted. All right. Now we get into it. I'd be disgusted. Shout out to Buzelis too, Leggy. I like Buzelis.
I'm typing this script with a big smile on my face.
Y'all better not come off
Wanna know
Buzelis.
why? Because I'm wearing the most comfortable pair of underwear all day.
Hey, I came for Paul George.
Now, my boy never flown. Our Heath offers a mobile flash.
That was a 2-minute ad.
Before he becomes a Clipper, Paul George is everything you want in a superstar. He shows up night after night, electrifies the crowd, and gives NBA fans moments they'll never forget.
Oh, I remember that.
What's yeah! Oh, yeah!
PG.
He's not just flashy, he's fearless, a true two-way force, and without question, one of the best players in the league.
George has to get a touch at some point, and he does. The three ball quickly, got it, and one! My George, Paul on the job!
I don't usually buy into superstition, but man, Paul George's career doesn't start slipping until he puts on that jersey. Call it the Clippers curse, call it...
All right, shout out to you, Craig. Have a great night. In the UK, shout out to the UK. Shout out to the UK. All right, bruv. All right, bruv. We'll catch up,
Call
bruv.
it whatever you want. But something changes the moment he joins that organization.
Look, Paris, I'm sorry, but the Sacramento Kings suck. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. PG did choke in OKC, but he had his best regular seasons as a OKC Thunder. His best playoff performance was as a Clipper, though. Actually, when he's wearing these braids right here, that was his best playoff series when Kawhi went out. They could have actually won the title that year. Yeah, I'm sorry, Paris. The Sac sucks, man. They went to the playoff once in the last
the year before that move, he's all NBA.
They might as well give Sabonis to the Heat, man. I'd be
a first team and third in MVP voting. A legit superstar. But once he gets to LA, the swagger, the drive, the old PG starts fading right in front of our eyes.
Like, I had to be honest to myself that, like, in order for me to win at the highest level or get to where I want to get to, I don't think I'm the one guy.
Look, I get it. Being the number one option isn't easy. The expectations, the scrutiny, the responsibility. It's a lot. Not everyone is wired to be like Kobe or MJ. But I'm not knocking him for being honest about that. It actually takes courage to admit you're not built for that kind of pressure. Most players would rather fake it than say it out loud. So, in a way, it's refreshing. Because the truth is, not everyone's meant to be Batman.
That's that goal. That's that boy right there, man.
This is where Paul George starts to lose me. When Kawhi, the Clippers' clear alpha, goes down with an invisible injury, the team needs someone to carry the flag.
I'll publicly say, I'm the two. Kawhi's the one, I'm the two.
As the self-declared number two, this is Paul George's moment. His chance to lead, to take control, to carry the team like a real second option should. But instead, he shrinks.
What was the real issue? What's the real issue?
Wait, what year was that? No. Let me put my 2 cents into this series. This was the year, I want to say 2022, when it was Phoenix, Milwaukee in the finals, and the Clippers actually made it to the Western Conference Final. Kawhi Leonard got hurt in the Utah Jazz series previous. This was the Clippers' actual championship year. This was the year I actually think they could have won it. Paul George actually played really well that playoffs. They just ran into a better team with Phoenix. Like, if they had Kawhi, I felt like it would have been a different story. Yeah, the Clippers are a trash franchise. But, Leggy, one thing I will say, the Clippers have the ability to acquire good teams, though. Whereas, like, Sacramento, they can't seem to put together a playoff run. Like, the Clippers will actually go to the playoffs, and they'll put teams together. But, like, yeah, as a franchise, they're trash. The Nets are trash. Oh my gosh.
George.
Chicago is going to turn the corner. You guys are like a draft pick and a piece away.
From the outside looking in, it feels like Paul sees Kawhi's injury as a green light to coast. And he does just that. The numbers back it up. Some of the worst shooting of his career. Then he starts missing games. A lot of them. 48, 54, 31,
games
56.
missed?
If you're wondering, those are the number of games Paul George plays over 4 straight years. Just 61% of the regular season.
Wow.
But it's not just the absences. The body language changes. The energy's off. Sure, he still flashes
That's
brilliance,
crazy,
but
though.
only after the
Guys, you understand how crazy a 360 dunk in the half court, like off a backdoor cut
Sure,
like that,
he's
off
still
rip.
flash-
That's very
just
difficult.
brilliance, but
Very
only after the
impressive.
media lights him up. It feels like he's playing to clap back at headlines, not to chase legacy.
Should people stop bashing Paul George?
No, it's not bashing, it's truth.
This is the worst TV show in the history of shows. Ever since Max left the show, First Take has actually went downhill, in my opinion, bro. I truly feel that way. Molly is looking very, very, very professional. Very
Telling.
professional.
For 4 straight years, Clippers fans don't just suffer, they live through basketball misery. At that point, I stop calling it the Clippers curse and start calling it tradition.
The 2024 NBA season.
The 2024 NBA season is
Disaster.
going to be different. Paul knows it, his family knows it, everyone does.
PG, both eligible for extensions, given their injury histories. Is that something you guys are willing to, comfortable committing potentially 4 years and
I'd
more
make
than
this
$1 million
face
toward those guys? Will those be offered?
Paul can't coast anymore. He can't hide behind bad shooting nights or missed games. Because now, something's on the line. A new contract, a whole lot of money, generational wealth. And just like that, the magic, after years of playing 30, 40, maybe 50 games a season, he suddenly starts suiting up nearly every night.
Facts.
The old Paul George shows up too. The
Didn't he
version
make
fans
All-Star last
haven't
year?
seen in years. He's aggressive, he's productive. Statistically, it's one of the best seasons of his career.
George, the step away for the tie. Oh my goodness! He put it in!
Unfortunately for Clippers fans, they still fall short. But hey, Paul George doesn't lose sleep over it. He played the part, looked the part, and gave teams just enough to believe there's still something special in him.
Paul George is literally one of the top 3 free agents, like him, Siakam, and Maxey
Yeah,
are at
they
the top,
were eating
top guys
his
on the list.
PP over the
With the season over,
offseason.
now comes the good part. In the
We're eating
2024
PP.
offseason, the Clippers approach Paul with a 2-year extension worth $60 million. That's $30 million a year. For context, that would make him about the 50th highest paid player in the NBA, just outside the top 10%.
That's still a lot of money.
Honestly, that sounds like a great deal. After missing over 100 games, more than 35% of his time in LA, and falling short of every expectation the franchise had,
Oh my
you think he'd be
gosh,
grateful
they
for
showed
$30
that.
million a year. You'd think he'd take a deep breath, look around and say, man, thank God they still believe in me. You'd expect a little humility, a moment of self-awareness, maybe even a fire to finally live up to what he once was. But instead, he says this.
Like the first initial deal was, I thought, kind of disrespectful.
Somewhere out there,
remember that.
Kawhi Leonard probably saw that clip and made this sound.
Oh my gosh, bro. I actually remember that. I'm gonna be honest, I was a big podcast P watcher before this season started. Like once this season started and he traded teams and stuff, that's when everything went downhill, bro. Like that's when everything went downhill, bro. He's having guests on after games and stuff. It's like, oh my God, just focus on hooping. That's crazy work. Paul George decides to set a
I'm Googling
record.
right now, and apparently the biggest heist in American history happened in Los Angeles back in 1997. It's called the Dunbar Armed Robbery, $18.9 million stolen. Adjusted for inflation, that's around $35 million today. Not bad. But Paul George topped that without a mask, a weapon, or even leaving his house.
The biggest movement happened overnight. Paul George leaving the LA Clippers to sign a 4-year, $212 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Whatever he and his agent pitched must have been incredible, because the Sixers, bought all of it. Somewhere out there, Kawhi heard about that deal and made that sound again. Now, sure, it's not technically a heist. It's technically not illegal. Paul George didn't rob anyone, at least not in the eyes of the law. But when you look at the results, it's hard to tell the difference. For starters, he only plays 41 games, just half the season. That's crazy, already not great, but what's worse, he only wins 14 of them.
Oh my gosh. You're 14 out of 41 games, bro. I'm jealous of Paul George. Maybe that's what it is. He got the crispiest line next to Jason Tatum in the league, bro. And I'm sitting here with a baldy, way younger than this dude.
And at one point, he's putting out more podcast episodes than he is playing actual games. Eventually, he has to say he's publicly stepping back from podcasting to focus on basketball after the season's already slipping away.
After today's episode with Dwight, I plan to take a break from the pod just to focus on getting my body right, getting mentally right.
Don't say
Finally, as for production, remember when I said he struggled with the Clippers? Well, this year, he takes not one, but 2 steps back, averaging just 16 points per game.
That's crazy.
16.
Big drop off.
There's a guy on the Sixers making $4 million a year, and he's putting up 22. Now, sure,
he just got to the Sixers though.
Embiid and Maxi's injuries definitely derailed any real shot the Sixers had. But when you take max money, you're supposed to take max responsibility. You lead, you show up, you set the tone. Instead, PG misses games with minor injuries, including a pinky injury. Kobe would have just taped it up and dropped 40.
Is that AI?
But here's the rough part for Philly
fans. Was that middle
fans.
finger AI?
This isn't a one-season thing. Paul George is under contract for 3 more years.
Jeez.
The Dunbar guy...
Bro, that's a Russell Westbrook kind of contract.
...has risked their freedom for $35 million. Paul George just had to average 16 a night. As I sit behind my desk brainstorming this video, I can already hear some people accusing me of hating how much NBA players get paid. But honestly, that's not what this is about. This isn't just a Paul George hating video either. He's just currently the biggest face of a bigger pattern in the NBA and beyond. I believe if you're going to earn that kind of money, generational, legacy-changing money, that you should at least try to be great. In Paul George's case, that's showing up on the court, dazzling, competing, inspiring. Not taking the money and contributing to the downfall of a franchise.
Dang, bro. PG's actually like at that level where he's like no longer on the upper echelon. That's crazy.
But look, this isn't just about NBA players. Truth is, we should all be chasing greatness, myself included. Because if we're not out here trying to make the world better, even in our own small way, then what are we really doing? That's exactly why it bothers me so much when I see cities and fans wait years for their team to finally have a shot at becoming special, only to watch it crumble. Not from lack of talent, but because someone got paid, then mentally checked out.
Man.
What happened to the Kobes of the world? The ones who'd fight.
But this is another problem that I do have though with like the media, like looking at the time to get a facts though. That ain't gonna lie, getting close to that boy. But listen, like the media always want to compare somebody to like Kobe or Mike. Like, bro, everybody's not gonna be Kobe or Mike, bro. Like, look at them for what they stop comparing them and look at them for what they are at.
Fight through injury just so a kid sitting in the nosebleeds who saved up all year for that one night didn't leave the arena disappointed. That hunger, that responsibility, the pride, the fight, the heart.
Everybody's not like that.
Now it's all about the paycheck, not the performance. That dunk on LeBron felt like the start of something legendary. Turns out,
dunk on LeBron is crazy. He did dunk on Braun, but that wasn't the clip. That was not the clip. All right, man. So we pretty much at the end of this whole thing.